Couple teaspoons maybe.
Yeah.
This is my neighbor's 77 Chevy. Sat here. He parked it because the floorboards were so rusted out that it would just push mud up through the truck. Cleaned out a whole bed full of junk. Everything but the fridge came out of that truck. Cleaned out an entire trash can full of trash. Entire garbage bag of aluminum cans. There's probably 50 pounds of mud in here. Thing's been parked 10 years. Last plate on it's 2011. Just an old truck. Step 1, acquire. Step 2, clean out. Step 3, pictures. Step 4, marketplace ad. Step 5, wait. Step 6, correspondence. Step 7, more correspondence. Step 8, deal. Because this is Mr. Goodpliers, the channel that gives you more. Before I deliver the other truck there, I'll take you around the yard and show you some of the others that I've got that are 70s Chevy trucks. 75, I believe, GMC, half-ton long bed. Chevy's half-ton they called the C10. GM, I believe, was called the 1500. This truck's really pretty straight, solid old truck overall. They said the guy parked this one, it ran and drove, but the front input seal on the transmission, like the one behind the torque converter, was leaking, and he just didn't want to fool with pulling the transmission out to replace that, so it got parked. Usually that means they stay in a little better condition than the ones that people just drive till they're totally worked to death and beat to death. I've got the headlight rings for this, the matching set of GMC hubcaps. Pretty basic truck. It's a 350 automatic 2-wheel drive long bed. Kind of interesting with the gold paint with the white roof, two-tone. Don't see just a huge amount of these that are gold like that. Pretty typical farm truck inside, but not like totally abused and ragged out, so I think it would clean up pretty well. Did work on this truck a little bit one day for just a bit before we put it in the lot. Had a teenage kid that I was kind of helping teach him how to do the will it run thing, and I think we got it to turn over pretty nice and it would almost hit, but I don't think the spark was really strong enough, so might need to swap in a few new ignition parts here and there and it probably would be back going again. 1979 C20. This is a pretty basic truck, no side trim, got the white painted bumpers. This one came from down south as well, so it's not like super rusty, but you can see down the sides of the body. They weren't super careful driving it and parking it. So just be something that would have kind of some old patina to it. Probably nothing a guy's really going to want to take all the way and restore, because there's probably better trucks around than that. This one I did have a title for. See, the windshield's cracked. I've got like probably at least 3 or 4 of these 73 and up Chevy truck windshields. Were brand new ones that came out of a body shop. This truck's a 350 and 4-speed manual, which is kind of cool. About like the gold truck there. Nothing spectacular inside, but not like totally completely ragged out junk either. One thing about this one, thought it was kind of weird. The instrument cluster lens was like totally yellowed over. So it's one thing a person would probably need to replace before putting this thing on the road. This truck, they parked it just because the fuel pump went out, and so we could spray some gas in the carb. I don't like to use starting fluid or ether, alcohol, whatever you call it, because that stuff kind of explodes in the cylinder. So I'm not like really thrilled over using it. But anyway, we put a little gas in the carb and it hit off and seemed to run good. So this truck's one that probably wouldn't be too terribly difficult to get back going and back on the road again. This old truck's a 73 or 74. Came from an old gentleman's estate here in town. He had retired from farming. I remember he used to drive this thing. He actually kept it garaged, so you can see paint stayed decent, but it's getting share rust on it. I think the floors are pretty gone in this one. Not a huge deal on these because the pans are pretty cheap, but still gotta take the time to put them in. This truck ran and drove pretty decent. Just the carb got pretty bad on it. So without that choke working right, they're just kind of really a headache to drive when they're cold. This is a decent old truck. I mean, it still could easily be something for somebody wants to fix it up. Show the interior. The interior in this truck is just really, really nice because it was inside. Dash cap's still good on it. Pretty appealing colors on this one. The orange with the white roof. I had one of these that was a Nylon toy as a kid that I played with. See, it's got kind of dent on the cab there. Pretty work used truck, but it's one that person could fix up and do something with still. This truck, I believe, is a 76. This is a C20, so it's a 2-wheel drive, 3/4 ton. Got this truck from my neighbor, and really all that was wrong with it when he parked it was that the flywheel, I believe, had some chipped teeth or missing teeth or something in the ring gear. Call it a flywheel, but it's actually a flex plate because it's a automatic truck. This one, little rusty. It does have a clean title, so if somebody really wanted to do something with it, this would probably be a good ideal starter truck for a kid as well. There's really nothing spectacular about this truck, but you know, it's not like really a total junker either. Just kind of there in the middle. You know, it's like not really bad enough to part out, but it's not like really good enough to be something like super great either. So it just kind of stagnated here in the yard till somebody decides to do something with it. Right here's the 1974 Chevy C10. This guy's a short bed, old fleet truck. It was Department of Agriculture grass conservation truck. You can still see on the doors does have a Free Grasslands bumper sticker on the back as well. These trucks had a pretty short option list. 350 V8, automatic transmission, positive traction rear end, and the 16-inch wheel rims. They're two-wheel drives. This is actually what the 16-inch wheel rim looks like. Almost identical to the 15s, except you can see that extra bit of length there in the diameter of the center stamping of the rim. This truck's kind of led a hard life. It's got quite a bit of rust in the body. I got this thing out in the Flint Hills, out by Madison, Kansas, kind of the heart of the grassland. This truck, I'm not sure why they parked it, but all the spark plugs are out. The engine's seized hard. It's kind of a junk motor. Just start over, put something different in there. I've got over in the back a 87 that was the first year of the throttle body, fuel injected V8 350. Kind of got that one saved for this truck. I'm not like over the moon about this truck. It is really cool because it's a fleet truck, but it's not like really at the top of my list. So I'd sure consider letting go of it if anybody was interested in it. I'd leave it ratty if it was mine, just because it would take so much work to turn it into something nice. See that whole bedside there's pretty mangled, and then they drilled into it with the dent puller. Not really the right way, but it's the way these old timers used to do them. Fenders are rusty. I wouldn't really care about any of that. Windshield's good, that's always a plus. Floors and rockers, pretty rusty in this one. Be kind of important to do those because you just have a lot of road junk getting kicked up. Cab corners. I mean, it's a old used fleet truck. You can see the sticker above the dash cluster. Vehicle is equipped with special traction rear axle. Pretty plain old truck, but short beds are starting to gain more and more favor among collectors, so I felt it important to save this old piece, as rough as it is. Step 9, delivery. Step 10, will it start? couple teaspoons maybe.
Yeah. It's quiet too.
It's like a sewing machine.
Yep.
I've seen where guys will take like a spray bottle and you can all right.
Yep, she'll run. Sounds healthy. Just a typical lifter too.
Run a little bit and pump those up, and it amazes me. Stuff like this that, you know, those plug wires will be like so rusty and corroded,
and then somehow still
and it, I mean, it still passes juice, so
yeah, probably should.
That's crazy. It's a fuel system.
Yeah, we just need to get a fuel line to run off of that into the tank, which we don't have, of course. Well, only thing we can do is get a tank for it.
Yeah, or see if we can clean up the existing one.
yeah, just drop it and knock the cinder ring out and rinse her clean.
Ah, come on. It's stuck on there. Jeez.
Oh yeah, those taillights are shorted on.
Don't have it locked. Is it on now?
Yeah. All right, so up here is choke.
Yeah, all the way up is choke.
Yep.
That's
Slow
no choke.
idle.
Yeah.
Fast idle, which is reversed because the carburetor's
Yep.
backwards, so it's reversed the way it's printed.
Yep. Brakes here.
Push this in to start it.
Yep. Opens. Push this in. Put that up for a parking brake, and then this is forward, and this is reverse.
All right.
And over here, if you want to push it around, you have to pull this. There's a little lever. You have to pull that up.
Okay.
But to drive it, you want it down like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But that's like
Yeah.
neutral right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, neutral, and then
That's neutral. Okay.
push it in to drive.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Then you have the
Height. And then the deal on the column there engages the blade.
Yep.
Cool.
And the lights work too.
Cool.
I think they
They
have
have to be running.
Yeah.
So you just turn it back one click and then the light should be on.
Yeah, you can see that on the ignition.
Okay.
It has an amp gauge, but I'm not sure if it works.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got a new battery and everything in it.
All right.
That's everything on there.
Cool.
Pretty much. Oh, and hood kind of broke.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It goes all the way down.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's the only thing.
It's got an oil filter and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Pressurized oil system.
Cool.
Yep. It's a good mower. Just what I've mowed with it today.
Yeah.
And the seat safety doesn't work right. So you can
I don't even think there is.
There is, but it doesn't work. So
Oh yeah, it doesn't work.
it won't shut off the motor.
I've started it.
Oh, yeah.
Seat up like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
All righty.
We have instructions all over.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
All righty. Hello, mower, and goodbye, truck. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
This was a fun little quick flip for the 1977 Chevy C10. This truck, old truck, sat around a little while. It's definitely pretty worn out when they parked it as far as the body goes. The drivetrain was really in pretty decent shape. Truck had average amount of wear. The kid who bought it and his friend are 16 years old, just looking for something basic to tinker on. They have great motivation, great ambition, and even some good skill to match it. This old truck's a very bare bones 250 inline 6, 3-speed manual brakes even, no air conditioning, just something very, very simple to learn mechanical tinkering. The average person might have just taken this truck to the scrapyard, but it still had potential and still great starter project truck for these kids to learn on. Great way for me to pass the hobby on to them, and that's really what this is all about. They may have driven it till it ran out.
Yeah.
I know his brother had a Volvo station wagon that was that way, he just ran it out.